My sister called me toxic and cut me off publicly. Her Facebook post humiliated me in front of our entire family and friends. She had no idea the unstable little sister she slandered was actually the one who'd just secured her dream job and the one with the power to take it away. As secrets unravel, respect is shattered, and roles reverse. This is the story of how one public betrayal exposed years of hidden truths, and how sometimes the most dangerous person isn't the one you shame, but the one you underestimate. If you've ever been judged, overlooked, or underestimated by the people closest to you, this story will strike a nerve. Stay tuned as we unravel a gripping tale of betrayal, silent revenge, and raw redemption. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to follow every powerful twist and reveal. I was halfway through reviewing psych evaluations in the break room when my phone buzzed. Facebook notification, nothing unusual, but then I caught the preview. Finally blocked my toxic sister. Our family is better without her poison. My stomach dropped. I tapped the notification. My hands trembled before I even saw the full post. It was from Olivia, my older sister. She'd attached a photo of herself smiling with our parents at brunch. My seat, which used to be at the head of the table, was conspicuously empty. Then came the paragraphs. 3 long, carefully curated paragraphs about cutting out toxic family members, choosing peace over obligation, and how some people refuse to grow up and face reality. She didn't tag me, but she didn't have to. The wording was surgical. Every mutual friend knew exactly who she was talking about. I scrolled. 43 likes, 17 comments. Cousin Tara, proud of you for setting boundaries. Blood doesn't mean you owe anyone your mental health. Aunt Maureen, you've always been the strong one, Liv. Your sister was always different and the one that hit hardest. My ex, Caleb. Finally, good for you. That one stung more than I wanted to admit. I locked my phone and sat frozen in my scrubs, trying to remember how to breathe. The fluorescent lights above felt too bright, the break room too quiet, like the silence after a gunshot. It wasn't even the betrayal that shocked me, it was how public it was. How rehearsed, how coordinated. But here's what Olivia didn't know. She didn't know that the toxic sister she just crucified on Facebook was the same person who secretly helped get her accepted into the Advanced Mental Health Leadership Program she had been applying to for over a year. She didn't know that I, Sierra Blake, 30, resident psychiatrist at Fulton Medical and faculty advisor, was the co-chair of the Scholarship Review Board. And she certainly didn't know that it had been my personal recommendation, written under a neutral committee alias, that pushed her application into the final acceptance pile. No. To Olivia, I was still the family disappointment, the flaky little sister who dropped out of med school to chase feelings and vibes, the one who shows up to family dinners with no husband, no kids, no clear job title, and too many opinions. She had no idea I was finishing my last year of residency, no idea that I was on track to lead trauma-informed care at one of the top hospitals in Georgia. She didn't ask, not once. All she ever offered were critiques. You should get a job that offers real stability. At your age, Sierra, most people already own homes. Your patients talk about depression all day. How do you not absorb all that negativity? The irony? Her entire job is in HR compliance at a county hospital, making about $68.00 mostly pushing paperwork, and the program she just got accepted into, a mental health leadership certification that I helped build. I didn't comment on her post. I didn't message her. I didn't rage. Instead, I stood up from the couch, walked calmly to the faculty office, and opened the door to Dr. Andrews, our program director. He looked up from his computer. "Sierra? I need to rescind an offer." "Whose?" "Olivia Blake." He blinked. "But she was one of our top picks. Strong references, great interview." I swallowed. "There's been a conflict of interest. A serious one. Should I notify the board?" "No," I said. "Just let her know the program scholarship budget was restructured. Offer withdrawn. She'll understand, because that's what Olivia does best. She understands everything when it's too late." 3 days passed. Olivia still had no idea her acceptance had vanished. She kept posting vague, inspirational quotes on LinkedIn. Sometimes rejection is redirection. The people who matter will recognize your worth. It was almost funny. She didn't know the rejection was coming. She didn't know who had orchestrated it. She didn't even know who I was. Not really. To Olivia, and honestly to most of my family, I was just Sierra, the sensitive one, the idealistic little sister who talked too much about empathy, trauma, and burnout, the one who had walked away from her 3rd year of med school after a nervous breakdown and, according to family gossip, never quite got her life together afterward. They didn't know the full story. They never asked. When I dropped out, it wasn't because I was weak. It was because I had been sexually harassed by a supervising resident for months. I reported him. They investigated. Nothing happened. I burned out. I walked. But I didn't stay gone. I shifted. I enrolled in a different program. Psychology, not medicine. Different discipline, same war zone. I graduated magna cum laude from Emory's doctoral program in clinical psychology. Then, without a word to anyone, I took a residency position at Fulton Medical, a place that believed in second chances and untraditional paths. Olivia never bothered to ask why I left. She just told everyone I couldn't handle the pressure. She told me once over Thanksgiving dinner, wine glass in hand, Mom nodding behind her, "You're smart, Sierra, but you've always been too emotional for real leadership." Too emotional? I run group trauma therapy for combat veterans twice a week. I make suicide risk calls at 3 a.m. I've held patients sobbing in my arms while cleaning up after their overdose attempts. But sure, I cry too easily for leadership. I think that's what made me push Olivia's application forward, not to get back at her or prove a point, but because she was qualified, she was driven, and I knew the program could be transformative for her the way it was for me. That was the bitterest part. I'd advocated for her, anonymously, using my board designation. I even smoothed over a few red flags in her interview review, because I believed in her, despite everything. And she repaid me by dragging my name through the dirt. No hesitation, no mercy, because to her, I wasn't a person, I was a symbol, a warning, a failure, a contrast to her own curated image of success. But that illusion didn't last long. On Thursday afternoon, I was walking through the training wing after my shift when I heard her voice. She was standing in the hallway chatting with a colleague. Darren, our administrative coordinator, Darren was showing her around the wing, giving her a preview of the facility. She'd be joining soon. I nearly laughed. Then I heard Darren say, "Oh, I think Dr. Blake's still in her office if you want to meet her. She's one of the program heads. PhD, trauma specialization, big brain energy." Olivia smiled politely. Blake? No relation. Darren chuckled. Nah, she's Sierra Blake. Probably just a coincidence. I turned the corner. Olivia saw me. Her face changed instantly. Confused at first, then tight with polite dread. Sierra? She asked, too loud. I nodded. Hey. Darren grinned. Well, look at that. Sisters running in the same circles. Olivia tilted her head. Wait, you work here? I kept my expression neutral. Something like that. Darren laughed. She's being humble. Sierra co-chairs our training board. Technically, she helped design the very program you're about to join. I could feel Olivia's spine straighten. Her hand gripped her tote tighter. That mask she always wore, smooth, effortless charm, started to crack at the corners. But you said you were doing freelance therapy stuff? She stammered. I never said that. You assumed it. A long pause. She blinked, like I'd slapped her, but I didn't raise my voice. I didn't flinch. She did. Excuse me, she mumbled and walked off. I stood in that hallway for a while, letting it all settle. The silence, the weight of years of being underestimated, the stunning absurdity that I had to hide who I was, just so my own family wouldn't try to rewrite me into something smaller. But I wasn't small, not anymore. It started with a text. Olivia, Sierra, I know things are weird between us right now, but I could really use someone to talk to. I stared at my phone like it had grown teeth. This was the same woman who'd publicly painted me as the family cancer, called me toxic, implied I was unhinged and unprofessional, and then paraded around as if she'd cut out some emotional tumor. And now, suddenly, I was the emotional support animal she needed. I didn't respond. She waited an hour. Then came the second text. I don't know what happened with the program. They pulled the offer, said budget cuts. I just don't understand. I was so close. Still no reply. And then, I know I said things, but that was just social media drama. Real life is different. Please. That was when I broke my silence. Me. Funny. I thought you blocked me because I was poison to the family. Isn't that what you wrote? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then again. I was venting. I didn't mean you specifically. I was stressed. I read that line again. I didn't mean you specifically. Oh, I see. She just happened to write a 3-paragraph essay about a younger sister who never grew up and sucks the energy from everyone around her. And she just happened to post it right after brunch with her parents. The same brunch I wasn't invited to. Convenient. Me. You wrote, finally blocked my toxic sister. Our family is better without her poison. You used the word sister, singular. If that wasn't about me, who exactly was it about? Our dog? She didn't respond. I tossed the phone on the couch and went to pour myself a glass of wine. That's when my phone rang. Mom. Of course. I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again and again. By the 4th call, I picked up. Hi, Mom. Sweetheart. Her voice was already soaked in guilt. Olivia's really upset. She just told me about the job thing. She's devastated. I'm aware. She says she doesn't understand how it just disappeared. Yeah, I said. Budget restructuring. These things happen. Silence. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? I sat down. Why would I? I'm just the flaky little sister, remember? Probably too busy crying into my crystals. Sierra, come on. She's your sister. Is she? because she made it pretty clear she doesn't see me that way. She's going through a lot. You know she gets dramatic when she's stressed. I almost laughed. And calling your own sister toxic in front of 400 mutuals is just a coping mechanism now? She didn't mean it, honey. But I'm the one expected to fix it? Mom sighed. Can't you just reach out? Maybe connect her with someone in your computer network? I choked. My computer network? You know, all the people you do psychology things with? Maybe one of them needs a marketing person. I nearly dropped the phone. You want me to ask my so-called empathy cult if they'll hire the same woman who called me unstable online? Sierra, that's not fair. No, what's not fair is asking me to keep swallowing poison for the sake of appearances. She went quiet. Then came the final twist. I just think family comes first. You two should put this behind you. I walked to my desk, opened Facebook, and pulled up the post. Guess who had shared Olivia's status that morning? Mom, with a comment. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it needs to be said. I took a screenshot and sent it to her. The line went dead for a second. Sierra. No, don't bother. I've seen enough. Click. I blocked both of them. It wasn't petty. It wasn't revenge. It was clarity. The kind that slaps you hard across the face and says, they never saw you. Not really. Just the version they could control. The apology post came out of nowhere. A week had passed since I blocked Olivia and Mom. I hadn't heard a word. Honestly, I assumed they were too busy playing victim over Sunday brunch. But then, it happened. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I hurt someone who never deserved it. My words came from frustration, but that doesn't excuse them. I judged a person based on assumptions and buried anger, and I see now how deeply wrong I was. I'm sorry. No names, no drama, just raw, real. And for the first time in her life, Olivia disabled comments. It was almost enough to make me blink twice. But I didn't reach out because public posts are easy. Healing? That's a different beast. Then came the second surprise. A week later, one of my colleagues, Dr. Langston, forwarded me an article from the Georgia Review of Mental Health and Leadership. It was an op-ed title, The Sister You Never Saw. It was about me, written anonymously, but I recognized the voice. Dr. Terrence Voigt, my mentor during residency. He told the story of a brilliant, under-recognized psychiatrist who had worked in silence for years, building trauma-informed programs, mentoring residents, and carrying the emotional labor of others while shouldering the burden of familial dismissal. One paragraph stood out. Her family saw her as fragile, emotionally unstable, but what they failed to realize is that strength doesn't always look like silence. It looks like staying, showing up, holding space, even when no one holds space for you. I cried reading it, not because it hurt, but because it was the first time I felt seen. Later that day, I was walking past the community clinic downtown when I saw her, Olivia, standing near the bulletin board, pinning up a flyer for a nonprofit called Second Bridge, a support group for unemployed professionals dealing with job search anxiety. She looked different. No makeup, ponytail, loose sweater and sneakers, no curated mask. I paused. She saw me, froze. For a long second, we just stared at each other like strangers. Two women, two histories, a whole storm between us. She didn't wave. She didn't cry. She just nodded. Small, quiet, like a bow of acknowledgement. Then she turned and walked away. I didn't follow. 2 days later, I got a letter, not a text, not an email, a handwritten letter. Sierra, I don't know where to begin. Maybe with this. I've been a terrible sister. I let my insecurity define how I treated you. You were always the wild card, and I needed so badly to feel like I had it all together. So I judged you, mocked your choices, pretended I was better. But the truth? I was terrified that you'd succeed in your own way and I'd be forgotten. And then you did, and I panicked. So I lashed out. You helped me get into that program, didn't you? I found the draft of the recommendation letter. I found it on your desk. So I lashed out. You helped me get into that program, didn't you? I found the draft of the recommendation letter. The one I thought came from someone on the board. It's your handwriting. I remember it from birthday cards as kids. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. You were my champion, and I turned you into my scapegoat. I've started volunteering at Second Bridge. I'm helping people rewrite resumes, prepare for interviews, but really, I'm learning how to sit with discomfort, how to actually listen. If you never speak to me again, I'll understand. But if there's any part of you that still sees me as your sister, I'd love to meet for coffee just to talk. No expectations. Love, Olivia. I read it 3 times. The first, I felt numb. The second, I felt heat crawl up my throat, grief and fury, and something else I didn't have a name for. The third time, I cried, but not like before. This time, it wasn't pain, it was release. That night, I didn't sleep much, but I did draft a response. Olivia, I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be real. Meet me at Cafe Ridley, Saturday, noon. Let's start with coffee. Cafe Ridley was quiet when I arrived. It was one of those rustic Atlanta corners. Worn brick, plants hanging from the ceiling, sunlight cutting through the dusty windows like memory. The barista gave me a polite nod as I ordered a black coffee and sat near the back, facing the door. At exactly noon, she walked in. Olivia, same eyes, same walk, but less armor. She didn't wear her usual heels or pressed blouse. She wore a simple green sweater and jeans. No jewelry, no perfect hair, just her. She spotted me, gave a half smile, hesitant. Hey, she said. I nodded. Hey. She sat across from me like someone entering a church she wasn't sure she was welcome in. Neither of us spoke for the first full minute. Then she broke the silence. Thank you for meeting me. I almost didn't, I said plainly. I know. Another pause. This one sharp. I read your letter, I continued, 3 times. I needed to know it wasn't another performance. It wasn't, she said quickly. God, no, I meant every word. I nodded. Good, because this isn't about a job, or a post, or saving face. She looked down. It's about everything I didn't say for years. No, I corrected. It's about everything you did say. Her eyes welled up. I know, I was cruel. I was judgmental. And the worst part is, I thought I was right. That stung deeper than I expected. I really didn't realize, she continued, voice cracking, how much of my self-worth was tied to being the successful one. And when I thought you weren't doing well, I felt safe, smarter, stronger. But the second I realized you'd built something incredible, something real, I panicked. because it meant all the ways I measured my worth were fake. She wiped her cheek. I wasn't proud of you because I couldn't afford to be. Your success made me question mine. I swallowed hard, and for the first time in a long time, I saw her, not the polished sister with the LinkedIn quotes and smug family dinner smirks, but the child in her. The fear, the confusion, the fragility. I exhaled slowly. That job offer? I pushed it through because I believed in your talent, even when you didn't believe in me. Her face twisted. I figured it out. The board, alias, the reference email. I pieced it together after I saw the handwriting. I felt sick. I realized I hadn't just lost a job. I lost you. She looked up, her voice low. Is there any way back? I sat with that question. Then I said, we don't rewind, we rebuild. But it takes honesty from both of us. I can do that. Then you'll need to do one more thing. She blinked. What? Tell the truth. To the family. Not just about the job. About how you treated me. About how we treated each other. I won't carry your guilt so you can stay comfortable. She inhaled sharply, but nodded. Okay. The family dinner was awkward before it even began. Dad poured wine like it was a distraction. Mom kept asking if I needed a throw blanket. The cousins chatted about a Netflix show nobody really cared about. Then Olivia stood. I need to say something, she said, voice shaking. About Sierra. The table went still. Everyone turned. I said some horrible things about her. Online, in private, in public, for years. She looked at me. I called her unstable, irresponsible. I made her the punchline to protect my own ego. I made assumptions about her life because I didn't have the courage to look at my own. And I lied. To myself, to you. Because admitting she was extraordinary meant accepting that I wasn't who I pretended to be. Dead silence. Mom's hand trembled on her wine glass. And the worst part, Olivia added, I didn't just fail as a sister. I failed as a human being. Because Sierra was the one who helped me get that job. She fought for me behind the scenes, and I turned around and burned her publicly. She turned to me. I can't undo that, but I will spend every day proving I'm not that woman anymore. No one clapped. No one spoke. Until Mom whispered, Sierra, why didn't you tell us who you were? I looked at her, steady. Because I wanted to know who you thought I was when you believed I had nothing to offer. Dad's face flushed. I thought we were helping. No, I said gently but firmly. You were managing, judging, correcting, but you weren't helping. Because help requires listening, and no one here was listening. Mom looked like she might cry. We didn't mean... I know. But you did it anyway. Silence again. Then I stood. I'm not asking for apologies. I'm asking for change. If we're going to be a family, it has to start with truth, with respect that doesn't depend on resumes or reputations. Olivia nodded. I'm ready, she said. And for the first time in years, I believed her. 2 months later, we met for lunch near the hospital. She looked lighter, not smaller, just more real. As we sipped coffee, she asked, Do you regret it? What? Hiding who you were. I thought for a moment. Sometimes, but it showed me who really saw me, and who only saw what they wanted to. She smiled. Well, I see you now. I raised my cup. Then let's build something new. Not from blood, but from bond. In the end, it wasn't about revenge. It was about recognition. About reclaiming dignity in a family that only saw worth through titles and appearances. Olivia's apology didn't erase the past, but it cracked open the door to something real: accountability, vulnerability, and the courage to change. And for me, it was a reminder that silence doesn't mean weakness, and empathy isn't failure. True family isn't defined by blood, it's built on truth, respect, and the willingness to see each other fully. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is stop proving your worth and start protecting your peace.